Hey y'all, it's your girl Crystal Lorenze. I'm back with another video. Y'all thought I wasn't, but I am. I did. So let's get into it. This look is supposed to give like a braided pony, right? That's what my client wanted. She's actually a client, not a model. Well, she's both now, but she's actually a client, and I asked her if it was okay for me to record, and she was very, very, lovely and gracious about it and said, yes, I can. And y'all, I'm still getting back into recording while I'm doing hair. So, my clients are super patient with me, and I am so appreciative of that. So, all right, y'all. So this right here that I'm sectioning off is for the braid that I'm going to put into the ponytail. There's going to be one on each side. And usually I part like from the middle down to the neck first to really get the angle of the braid to make sure, that it's going in the right direction and it's centered. But I have done this so many times, I kind of had an idea of, where the part should be. So y'all, to isolate the hair and get that line super, super sharp and clean, I went ahead and used my Shine and Jam, which I apologize for not showing you guys. But yes, that Shine and Jam is clutch. I've been using that for like so many years. Y'all don't even understand. I should really be sponsored by them at this point, but that's a topic for another day. But I'm going to go ahead and continue to isolate because that is how I get the aesthetics that I want. And if nothing else, Weave Junkie is going to have those parts super clean and super straight. Okay, so I'm just going to let you guys kind of watch what I did to, make sure the line and the section for this braid was going to be clean. All right, y'all, so here is where I am going to stitch, braid, or cornrow, whichever one you want to call it, up into the center of her head. Now, as y'all see, I usually keep my jam on my hand because I don't want to have to keep going and reaching for it. And honestly, I should have just put like a clip on her baby edges so that I can isolate them. But y'all, when I'm in the vibe, when I'm in the groove, I'm just going. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my fingers. Some people use a comb, but I use my fingers, like, because my nails are pretty long right now. So I use that and the comb to part for the stitch braid. And y'all, the key is to keep a strong grip. If you don't, it's going to loosen up in the front, which I don't know if y'all zoom in, y'all can kind of tell that it loosened up at some point. So I had to start it all over again, and I purposely left this part for y'all to see, to show y'all the process and how raw, being creative and doing hair can get. But it's okay. Once I understood that, I was more mindful of it, and I went back in, and I'm trying to now take my time and possibly take maybe smaller sections, because my client's hair was a little, like, I won't say thin, just a little, I think it's thin. Like, it just was a little bit more, I can't find the word, but y'all can see from her hair texture, it wasn't as thick. So I had to just take smaller portions so that I'm not forcing my hand to go further back than it should be. So I just had to cut the stitches just a little bit smaller than I was, nothing too crazy. And I kept my grip, and the grip is always held by whichever hand has the hair. So once the hair gets into like my left hand, the grip is automatic. I don't let go until the hair gets back into the other hand. Once I got to like the back part, you kind of see it became a little bit more easier for me. It started flowing, and you could kind of see that stitch in there, period. Alright, y'all, now that I'm done the braid, I'm just gonna braid it down a little bit, not all the way, because I'm still trying to put everything in a ponytail, but I don't want it to unravel, so I'm just gonna braid it halfway and then let it go. And yes, I just check on my braid, make sure it's tight. I'm gonna give you guys a little look so you could see. And yeah, so on to the next one. I didn't really move the camera too much, so I didn't necessarily show the other side, but I will in a second so y'all can see. And y'all, that camera needs to stay in one place because I don't have so much space. I do have space, but you know, I don't have that much space. And last time I almost dropped my camera, so I just keep it kind of like on one side for y'all to get the point. But yeah, so I'm done the other braid, and now I'm just gonna put in a ponytail because I don't really know why I did that, but I think I did it just to secure the braid because sometimes I won't notice and it'll just come out. But yeah, as y'all can see how I kind of placed both of them. And y'all, so in the midst of me doing my little videos on Instagram, I completely forgot to show you guys how I flat iron the hair. So now we're on this part. I flat ironed it and slicked it, and I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't even know what I was doing. I think I thought the camera was on, but it wasn't. And you know, that's usually my problem, but I'm working on getting a team that can make sure that everything is done. But till then, y'all just got to work with me, bear with me. Thank you. But anyway, my client sat under the dryer for about, I would say 15 to 20 minutes. You know, I flat ironed it, and the flat iron I have is super, super like hot, and I love it. Like, it's not hot to the point where it's, you know, damaging the hair, but it just got the hair so freaking sleek, and I love it. So I flat ironed it, and I used the Got To Be spray. So everyone's hair is different. Depending on the hair texture, that'll determine what type of product I use. So I just had to use Got To Be, you know, spray on her, and that worked perfectly. And I immediately put her under the dryer. But look at me trying to do videos, y'all, at the same time. But now to the pony, right? Initially, I wanted to just braid it all together, so one big braid, and work my way up that way. But then as I started braiding, I noticed that, yeah, this is going to be a little bit too thick. And I don't know, I just thought that wouldn't work. So my next option was to split it in half. And honestly, I'm just getting back into doing hair consistently. So I am trying a lot of new techniques. I know some hairstylists, you know, braid it all together. They wrap it with the hair wrap y'all just saw me cut off and then glue around. You could do that as well too, but honestly, I just personally feel like all that glue is unnecessary because I feel like it's hard for my clients to take out. It might not be, but I just honestly think it's unnecessary. But for certain hair textures or for certain situations with certain clients, I do that method. But I don't know, I was just going with the flow, honestly, and either one honestly works. So I'm just gonna braid this side all the way down, and then the other side I'm gonna do the same. Alright, y'all, so now I have both sides braided up. I was like, okay, now I have to make sure it's not super long, but you know, there's enough here for me to wrap around. So I'm going to sew them together to make sure that they're sturdy and they don't come out. And then yeah, so this is the hair that my client decided to use. She said it was just a short-term hairstyle. So y'all, this brand is actually called Organic Body Wave, and it's actually one of the better, cheaper hairs if you wanted to just do a quick style. And it's actually, like, if I'm not mistaken, under $20. It's super cheap. I've used it multiple times, so I would definitely recommend, like I said, for a short-term hairstyle. And when I mean short-term, I had it maybe for about 2 weeks. The longest was 2 weeks, so you know, it's definitely worth the money if you wanted to just do something really short and quick. So all right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead, and as you guys see, I started from the bottom. I made sure I secured the weft at the bottom, and I don't sew every single line. Maybe I might wrap it around once or twice and then I sew, just because it's just more efficient. Now everyone's different. Like she said, like my client told me, she wasn't necessarily keeping it for too long. So every time I ask my client questions, it's usually for a reason, so that I could get a better understanding of what I should be doing and how I should be doing it. And that's not to say like, oh, because she's not keeping it in for a long time, I'm not gonna, you know, take my time and do it right. It's just, it really is the same difference. I really wrap it so tight that it you know, could have just been sewed in for all they know. Like, it's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it a couple more times and keep sewing it in until I get to the top. And I usually have my client hold the needle because you don't want to poke them and you don't want the needle just be flying all over the place. So just for security reasons, I had her hold it for me. So the hair was a little, you know, it's not real human hair. So I had to just detangle it a little bit. But once I sprayed some oil sheen in there, oh, she started acting right. So, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna continue wrapping all the way to the top. Alright, y'all, now that I'm at the top, I'm gonna use the rest of the thread I have to wrap around for security purposes. Now, this is, you know, like I said, all of this is optional. I just do it because it just makes me feel better about the security of the ponytail, because the end of that was attached to the weft. So if I drag it around a couple times, I know the weft is not going anywhere. So as you see, I'm going to spray it a couple more times so that, you know, we can comb through it. And what I'm spraying is like a gloss mixed with a little bit of heat protectant. And I didn't spray so much so that it doesn't look too, you know, cheap and, you know, thin or anything like that. But as y'all can see, it worked perfectly for the hair texture. And yeah, it definitely was given. Alright, y'all, so here is where I'm about to, you know, wrap the top of the ponytail, create that little security and make it look pretty. I'm gonna add a little bit of gel. Sometimes I mix it. I use Ebon, and then I can mix it with a little of the Shine and Jam. And then I secure it every now and then with the Got To Be glue. So as y'all can see, you know, trying to wrap this around is a little, you know, strategic, because I wanted to wrap enough to kind of lift it, but my client told me she wanted a high-low ponytail. She didn't really want it to be sticking up. So I had to make sure that, you know, I was achieving that look. So the goal is to always add enough gel or jam or got to be glue in the process of you wrapping it, so that every layer is secure. You don't want to just wrap it and then put the jam on top of it or the gel on top of it, because then you're only securing the outside of it, and then the inside can always get puffy, it loosens up, and all type of stuff. So as you can see, pretty much every layer got some gel and some got to be glue. So I started wrapping around, and once it's secure, you want to go ahead and kind of brush it or comb it just to kind of create that seamless look. Make sure it's all blended in, and then I secure it with some more got to be glue, and then I blow dry it. And I try to do hot and then a little bit of cold. Alright, y'all, now for the edges, my favorite part, right? So I like to do dramatic edges, but y'all know I'm not really known for super dramatic, because my clients, like, they love the looks, but they, you know, once they're like a week in, they're over it. So I just try to make sure I ask my clients if they're okay with me doing dramatic edges, and my client today was okay with it. I didn't put too much out, so that was good for her. But yeah, some people flat iron their edges, and some people just, you know, like you just saw me do it, I hand did it. But like I said, it also depends on their hair texture. Some hair textures I have to flat iron, because if I just put gel on it, automatically it's gonna just curl up, and yeah, I don't really have time for that, and I've made so many mistakes and learned my lessons. So sometimes I just have to really fill out the client's hair to know what I'm, you know, gonna do specifically. So y'all, now I'm just going to, you know, conceal everything with my Tresemme mousse. Specifically, you know, pretty much everything. And I'm going to wrap her one more time. And this is just to really make sure everything is, you know, staying in place. And I just lifted it up a little bit because I knew it was going to drop. But yeah, this is just to make sure that her hair lasts as long as possible. And I'm gonna keep her under the dryer for maybe another 15 minutes at, like, you know, pretty moderate temperature. Not too hot because I don't want the gel to melt, but not too cold because then she'll just be sitting in there doing nothing. Alright, y'all, so this is the final look, as you could see. And this style lasts about, you know, 2 weeks, 3 at the, you know, the most, if depending on how you take care of your hair. But yes, so y'all, the next look is Invisible Lock. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tune in for the next episode.